Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I'm Jeanette from Yoga Wisdom, and I would like to share with you today the concept of lengthening the spine, lengthening the back. I believe that's the secret to the relaxation and the effortlessness that you can have in doing your yoga poses. It does require strength, but in many ways it's not about strength. But we're going to practice lengthening the back or releasing the back by lifting the navel and up like Uddiyana Bandha. But we're going to use the concept of dragon flag. So I've got a few little, call it drills or a break up of the dragon flag and applying it to your yoga practice and making it accessible on different levels, different steps. Good. So first thing I would like to show to you the concept of dragon flag. The first thing we need is the relaxation of the rib cage, relaxation of the shoulders, and a lifting of the hip bones. So there's going to be a relaxation and a lengthening of the lower back. Very nice way to do this simply is raising the hips. And you might find there you already started arch. So what you want to watch for is that you're always relaxing the rib cage down, the chest down, and the length in the lower back there. So pushing the brick away, relaxing the neck. You're not tight, you're relaxing the chin open, and then lift the tummy in first. Make sure the lower back stays long, and then stretch the legs out. So initially you might find that they only want to go to there, and then start to open this section of the hip groin and staying in a very long lower back. And you can play around with that as you get stronger to see, because that motion as I push down is what lifts the legs up. And so we're constantly watching for when the back wants to arch, because then we're going to start using the back muscles instead of the rolling of the pelvis muscles. The rolling and the releasing, the relaxing of the pelvis. So that's nice. You can do some leg raises there. Now the next concept I want to share is you can do it on a brick, you can do it on a bolster. Is getting the strength or the awareness of this pelvis tilt and then lifting, extending to find this glute muscle at the bottom. This glute muscle holds in opposition to this, holds this strong without the hip flexor needing to be tight. And the hip flexor also tightens when you extend, when you don't integrate the leg with the pelvis movement and then you extend it out, that hip flexor has to hold you. Now my bum's not holding me. So we're doing the pull in, the hug, and then my hip flexor can loosen. Okay, that's quite an interesting and valuable tip there. So many people suffer from the psoas muscle too tight. So we're going to try it with this. It's quite fun with the ball. So also make sure I've got a relaxed upper back, a long lower back, hold the ball, and I can start in my Viparita Karani. All of these are going to start in Viparita Karani with a relaxed pelvis, relaxed rib cage. Lengthen the legs away, hugging into the inner thighs, and there already you might find, so I like to hold and see if I can feel those bum muscles kick in. And as soon as I can feel, I lift the tummy more, find the bum muscles, so I'm holding only with the strength of my core, not my neck, not my shoulders, not my middle of the back. And on the ball, you can have fun with bouncing it back up. But the bum muscle is in opposition and helping the tummy muscles to hold there. Okay, so it's already a little dragon flag you're practicing. So in actual fact, doing leg raises, you are going through that position, tilting and opening. So in yoga practice, it will relate to a lot of poses that we do, the rolls, a roll, a squat, even a forward bend. But later I'm going to look at in the next video is how that relates to everything, back bend, raising your legs, handstand press. But today we're looking at how that relates to a shoulder stand. So now the higher we go, the easier it is. The lower you go, the harder it is to hold that. So the higher, we're going to start higher and just go as 45-degree angle. Go into a shoulder stand or plow. Place the roller, it could be a little bit further away, could be right on your back. Relax, we lift up into Viparita Karani. And then from there you can hold, so it's quite nice to push the wheel away as you suck the tummy and elongate the lower back. So if there's any tension there, work on sucking the tummy, pushing the wheel away, elongating the muscles by the coccyx. And in this position, again, find the buttocks muscles, suck the tummy, push the legs away, and carry the legs as low as you can. And we hold, lengthening, hugging the tummy, lengthening the legs, and long deep breaths. Okay, so you have a bit of fun with that. Sure. There is that yoga pose, don't know its name right off, but the variation where you're balancing, or in lotus where you're going down. So it directly relates into your yoga poses. Okay, just a nice stretch on the wheel. The dragon flag itself will be this kind of height with the hips. You really want to always think of the hips being at the highest point. And that's quite interesting because take it into your downward facing dog. So it's the opposite in a bridge, back bend. All you want is the hips at the highest point, but the same in the reverse. I want this part there as my highest point. This part is my highest point. Not necessarily this, but this. There, I'm lifting and into that part. So I'm really, really lifting from that part. Again, it's actually doing the same, but you just don't see it when it's upside down. Okay, then let's take the position for strengthening the stomach a little lower. You could start with a high brick. I'm going to go to second level. Relax the shoulders. Again, I can push the brick away to ensure that my lower back is not taking the strain. I lift into Viparita. Relax the chest. Find the bum and stretch out. So you constantly keep sucking, pulling that away as you find the glutes supporting in the opposite position. Long deep breaths. Okay, so my students found that the lower you go, the more difficult. That was actually not my experience right now either. So find for yourself. You might find working this low one very difficult. You might find it easier than the higher hip one. But yeah, we have to just pull really into the rib cage. Maybe this lower one's more difficult when the ribs are still popping out. But the higher one's more difficult because your ribs can pop out and you can still go. But it gets really, really nice when it starts to make that kind of curvature like an S. The ribs down, the hips go up, the hips really high, the hip flexor open, and the legs taper out. And after doing as much as you want to, you lift and stretch it out. Open thighs, open hips, open chest. So how does this relate into Sarvangasana? First, we want to be able to, just lying on the floor, get that motion there. So hip bones up, ribs down, tummy down, neck long, upper back long, and lower bum squeezing. So now my legs are lifting off the floor a little bit. And we're going to go into shoulder stand directly. So this is often, I'll just quickly show you. Commonly, we go and we leave the hips behind, and then we try and get the legs over, so at least we'll get to Halasana, and then we kind of leave the hips behind again, and we come to shoulder stand. So the only way I now can get higher and in a straighter line is by really going more onto the neck. Okay, and that's not what we want. When we stabilize through the core, we then stay more relaxed in the upper back, chest stays relaxed, and you're really doing your shoulder stand in this position here where the neck is not on the floor, quite relaxed. So the stronger I get in this movement, the less strain I have on the neck in the shoulder stand. I'm going to go into shoulder stand, but with practice to go directly, finding the bum muscle and the lift in the front. I wish I had a partner, and this is what I do with my students. If somebody holds your feet, let's try and mimic it. Okay, so I've got somebody holding my feet higher. I can push down on them, and that's where my hips can go. Now I relax the chest, and if that person can just continue to pick your legs up, you'll feel that you land up in a shoulder stand with your chest here and the legs up there. And that's really what we're aiming for. It's really relaxed. I can do that, and it's really relaxed in the chest. Okay, let's give it another try. Some more activation in the pelvis, more relaxation in the spine. There we go. Okay, so it helps. So even if you're stuck around here, you just keep working, not going higher on the neck, but lifting from the belly and lengthening through the legs. So powerhouse out. And even that will translate into much easier lifts from Halasana to shoulder stand. Good. Let's leave it there for today. Happy practicing. Enjoy the transformations with yoga. So invigorating, stimulating, enlightening. Enjoy. Namaste.